Hi, we almost bottled it. It doesn't matter. We got the 3 points at the end of the day. That's what we wanted. We wanted to win the game. We went out there. We won the game. They said we're not going to win the game, but we did. So sometimes we just have to take the positives that we can get and run with it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club, and today we are giving player ratings for the DSTV Premiership game between Maritzburg United and Kaizer Chiefs. It obviously ended 3-2 to Kaizer Chiefs, winning a penalty by Yusuf Mat that we got on the final 10 minutes of the game. Thanks to VAR as well, because it was a penalty and we've talked about that, so we're not gonna talk about that again. Now let's start with the goalkeeper, Brendan Peterson. Peterson did concede 2 goals, and one of them, when it comes to a free kick, he got his wall right. And I'm going to take back something, because yesterday in the video I thought it was Uhland who didn't jump, but I looked at the video again and it looked like it was Sahel who actually didn't jump. Regardless, that was just a good free kick. He couldn't have saved that free kick. When it comes to the corner as well that he conceded, can you blame him much for that? No. Again, it was one of the players who didn't mark. So overall, it wasn't his fault and he was not called to action that much. So for him, I'm just gonna give him an average rating. Yoguti, he was there and he played the game, but he did concede 2 goals. So I will give him a 6 because I'm being kind. Dylan Solomons was back, obviously playing his first full 90 minutes after a few weeks of being out. And how did he do? I saw some people were saying he wasn't make sure yesterday and stuff like that. But you must consider Uguti, Maritzburg United were not letting the Chiefs play. And that was the biggest problem. Uguti, Usolomonzi, whenever he tried to go forward, he couldn't get the ball. What he ended up just doing was to help and make sure that at the back he's covering himself, because at times Upkunika was struggling with the pace, especially in the first half. So Guayeno Solomons did not affect the game going forward, and we did not see a utilization of his pace going forward. It was just seen when he was going to the back and recovering. So I will also just give him a good 5.5 because it did not impact the game that much. Then Kunika, the performance that everyone is probably thinking, what are you going to give him? He's on the thumbnail. What are you going to give him? Ukunika, guys, if we're being honest, he did make a mistake that led to a goal technically, because the free kick ended up being given away and it was a foul. And second half, he played, remember this, he played with a yellow card an entire 45 minutes and did not end up making a stupid mistake that led to a red card. I will take that as a positive, because as I said, I'm a positive Nancy. So I will give that to him. Uguti, he did stay like concentrated and not reckless for the entire 45 minutes, second half. But still, you can't keep on making mistakes game in, game out, especially with the experience that he has. So I'm giving him a 4 because of that. Dove, once again, Dove is going to give you a solid performance game in, game out. And yesterday he came in and he did the same thing. There's nothing that I can point to and say, oh, Dove did this and did that. I will say, Guti, there's just one thing, Guti, his frustrations with the defense, other people might perform, it's starting to be visible, and I can't help but think it's going to affect how he plays with the guys. Because if you now play with the people that you don't trust, because we can see now from watching the game, it doesn't seem like you trust these guys, then it makes me go like, ish, that might just be a problem. But if that can be dealt with, he will get a solid 7 again, which I think I'm too generous again, or 7, but I'm going to give him 7 because I can't point at something that was like a problem for him. Hlanti, once again, another player with a solid, a really solid performance yesterday. If they play well, I will give them, like, they played well. Hlanti, yesterday defensively, he was there, he was alert. There was no time where I saw Hlanti being caught. Well, I did say he didn't jump with free kick, but I checked again and it seems like it's actually Sahil who didn't jump, and it was a good free kick. That should be noted as well. So Uhlanti yesterday had a solid performance. I know we conceded 2 goals, but 6.5 for Uhlanti. Before I move on, guys, please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and you can also like the video in case you are already subscribed to the channel. It helps me to reach more people like you if you like the video, if you subscribe to the channel, and if you also leave a comment just letting me know what are your player ratings and who do you think had the most impact on the game yesterday. Moving on to our midfielders, to start with Umart. Marty did score a penalty for us. Huge positive. Uguti was so composed in the absence of Pimengimana and was ready value to take the pen. And there was a delay. That delay was very long, guys. The delay was really long. But he stayed composed throughout that time and ended up scoring a pen. And that's a positive. But when you look at the negatives, Matt loses the ball way too often. He's a midfielder. That shouldn't be happening. That needs to be rectified. Yes, he still works hard defensively, but Maritzburg United were just going through us, which means sometimes you have to work hard, not smarter. Work smarter, not hard. But definitely he needs to stop passing the ball to the opponent, because he gets the ball, he keeps on losing it. That's not cool, man. That's really not cool. So I'm torn between Uguti, yes, he scored a pen, composed, and Uguti had just a bad performance in terms of how he played. I wrote 5 here, but I'm tempted to say 4.5. What do you think? 5? 4.5? Tell my comments. Stebe, I'm giving him a 5. But if you disagree, tell in my comments. Stebe once again is vital with Chiefs because of the fact that right now he plays as a defensive midfielder more than Umat. As I said, the second half we switched from a flat 2 to a more of a triangle, because Umat was more advanced and then Ustebe was more of a defensive midfielder, and then he was helping when we were playing the ball out from the back, so that there isn't much responsibility required from or put on the other defenders. So he also puts in a lot of work and he also recovers a lot. But for some reason yesterday, obviously Maritzburg United still found a way of going through us. But when it comes to playing out from the back and helping the team in that regard, he was there, and also playing those balls behind in the first 10 minutes, that was helpful. But then later on it became redundant when they kept on doing the same things Benomat. So because of that, Ustebe will get a 6. I said this thing before the game even started. They were going to focus on him, suffocate him, and make sure Guti doesn't play. And they did, and it just wasn't there to be seen. He did give an assist earlier on in the game, but after that there was nothing to be done, because even with that assist he was deep in our own half, and that is why there wasn't much pressure on him. But still, credit to him, Guti still found a way of pinpointing a pass to Dupree, which ended up, was it Sahil? I think it was Dupree. So it wasn't necessarily an assist. It was a ball they replayed to Dupree. Then Dupree played it to Dolly. Then it was a goal, because the second goal was Umat playing the ball to Sahil, and then there was a goal. So he did contribute towards the goal and in the movement of the goal. So that's to him. But overall, the game was below what you expect from him. So he gets a 5. Sahile on the right, Sahile passing is good, taking people on is good, he scored a goal. He had a very good game. I think I would like to see him work more defensively and not fouling people, obviously, because against Pirates there was that he should have gotten a red card, blah blah blah. But I can't fault the performance. It's probably his best performance for a Chief so far, and I will give him a 7. Then we go to Dupree naye, we saw him ngamaranzake through the middle and just keeping ama defenders Maritzburg United in check, and he did assist. The composure yakhe in assisting Udoli was really good, and he still worked defensively trying to come back. But it wasn't like an overly impressive performance by him, but it was just still there. Bengpalu 7 again down here, but I'm going to change my mind and say 6.5, because it's not like we got a lot of chances or he did a lot of things, but he was just there. Then we have Udoli did score a goal earlier on in the game without keeping a kepalin, which reminded me, it's the same kind of goal he scored against Maritzburg United earlier on in the season. It was a keeper mistake and he still found the composure to score a goal. So that's good, right? That's a positive. Otherwise, impact Udoli in the game, I did not really see much of it. So Dolly gets a 5 because he didn't affect the game in any other way. Ngobo comes in for Umdu and he played okay. I will say whenever I saw Ngobo get the ball, I get nervous a bit because it feels like he's about to lose the ball, and he did not play that much, so I won't give him a 7 or something. I will just give him a 5. Yoguti, he was there. As for Mashan and Omatlo, there wasn't really enough information. They didn't play really that much, so for them I won't give them a rating. As for Uzwane and himself, that adjustment in the second half of changing shape of our midfielders really worked, and it helped the team to win and to have a bit more control in midfield. So for Uzwane yesterday, he could have probably made that change, that adjustment in the first half when he saw Guti were being overrun in the midfield. So that is a bit of an issue. And with making subs, I don't blame him the way he made subs yesterday. I think he was spot on because we don't want to make too many changes in a team that does not seem stable. So from yesterday's game, I will give Uzwane a 7. Abadlali badlalile ngaye, but once again, you can see Guti, whenever Uzwane has a game plan, each team goes out to execute it. They do well, but then they decide, you know what? Let's stop sticking to the game plan, and because of that, they end up losing. But then second half, he make an adjustment, and then we end up dominating or being better in the game. So 7 for Uzwane. Funa ratings down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, remember, equals I'll pay you more.